Hi, Joy.
Hey.
Hey, how are you?
Good. Real quick, hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Flipping the Script with Joy and Becky. I believe this is episode 9?
Yep.
Woo! And
I know. Can't believe we've been successful that far.
freaking 9 episodes. Right on. Good for us. Shit, we're doing it.
We are. It's only taken us a couple of months to get here, but we're trying to form some more consistency and do it more regularly. And I think the more we do it, the better we're going to get at it. And hopefully our listeners will come and stick around and find something useful in what we say.
Exactly. Oh, I was gonna light some sage real fast and stuff.
Gotta do that energetic clearing.
Yeah, I was putting protection around my Facebook stuff at the moment because it just got off restriction. And for telling a joke, of course, responding to a meme that was a joke meme. So I joked in response and got a 30-day ban. It was awesome. So I'm putting protection around my Facebook page, clearing negativity, any low vibrational attachments. I'm just clearing all that out. And putting protection around my channels. So I put protection around anyone that's listening as well. Their channels, their electronics, their house stuff, things that are important.
Yes, and that's going to kind of feed into what we're going to discuss today, which is talking about energy and cords and attachments and things like that. And so we have to constantly be on alert because we're constantly connecting, and we have to remember to disconnect because a lot of times we don't do that. So we stay connected and then we have energy drains. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that just comes from normal stuff, doing normal stuff, everything that everyday ordinary stuff that we do for a living, like get up, go to work, plug into the matrix, come home, do the same thing every day.
Yeah, we have to remember to do that unplugging. We're plugging in, but do we remember to unplug? And this is a daily practice. This is something, no, we don't necessarily have to do like a huge cord cutting every single day, burning candles and cords and things like that every day, but just making a statement at night to close out the day and disconnect your energy is a good way to, sleep more restfully, to where you're not connecting to those energies in your sleep, because we do connect to everything, whether it's just watching a TV program. I know we like that word when we're talking about TV, or we're on Facebook, or we're talking to someone. Anything that we're doing in our day, we're connecting our energy to those things. I would say it's impossible to be disconnected, at least at my level. I can't just be in a bubble all the time. I need that connection. I want that connection with others, and I want that connection but I also have to remember I need to protect my energy also. So it's finding balance, and every day is it's a practice. It's not a permanent thing, one and done. It's everyday practice of opening and closing, and not keeping those energy cords going, because it was funny. I went to a Reiki circle on Monday, or Reiki share on Monday, and one of the things that the leader of the group said when they were doing the Reiki on me was that I had some some silver cords coming out, like from my feet area. And, it kind of reminds me of like octopus tentacles, like little tentacles that are just all over the place. And so that kind of inspired me, because I think we talked about last time that we were going to talk about cord cutting and that in this podcast. So it was interesting that we had discussed that before. And then when I went to have the Reiki done, that she said that I had these cords coming out. And so I think it all is in divine timing that, I went, on a deep dive on all this cord cutting stuff to prepare for our discussion today. And what it really comes back to, and the funny part about all of it, is that I already know everything I need to do. Everything that I've read, everything that I've researched. Yeah, you can look up some great statements and great declarations and commands and things like that. But what it all comes back to is that I hold that power already, and my spirit and my source guides me to where I need to go. So all those things I already know how to do. I just have to put them into practice. So this was just a reminder for me to kind of get it in black and white, and saved a bunch of notes. And now, I've got all these declarations that I can use. Um, and I think that's one of the things that we talked about, we wanted to share today. So I'm going to pull that up, that one that I sent you today,
Yeah.
that statement. But I'm just going to open with this statement here. Let's see. I got to scroll back up because we were chatting for a minute. I'm going to go look at my pictures. That'd be easier. All right. Let's see. Where are you? And of course I can't find it.
There's no rush. No hurry. No rushing, because I'm pulling cards too for later.
Okay. All right. Well, I know it's on my Facebook, and since we're talking about Facebook, we can apply this there. So okay, here it is. Cord cutting mantra. I release you with a full heart, with love for the place you once held in my life. May you be happy in the life you have chosen. I now take back all the energy that has been taken from me or that I have given away, and I return the energy that I still hold from you. May I be free from the ties that bind us. May all cords be cut, transmuted, and dissolved. May all energy return to its original sender with power, peace, and forgiveness. I ask that this is complete and sealed now. So it is. Thank you. So I like that one because it kind of just, it talks about forgiveness, and transmutation, which are keys when it comes to cord cutting.
Yeah, you have to transmute.
We're not doing this out of anger. We're not doing this to, out of negativity. This is just a pure and simple practice
of love.
The dogs wanted to speak in.
Let them. Yeah. And it's true because we're doing this for love, you guys. Love. It's our heart.
Love of self has to come first, and taking care of yourself means taking care of your energy and disconnecting from the things that are draining that energy. And
so you be a whole person.
Yeah, and as a mother and as a woman, we are taught to give, and ask for very little, and don't complain. And we get very little appreciation, and we don't get a paycheck as being stay-at-home moms. So it's a very difficult job energetically, because we don't get the paycheck at the end of the week. We don't get the awards and the recognition and the thanks and the appreciation that really my husband would not be able to do what I do. I mean, I run the household, I run everything. I'm in charge of everything other than getting up and going to work every day. That is his role as the provider. And my role is to, be his right-hand man. And, and it's funny now because in the beginning of our relationship, it was, he'd come home, he'd give me all the money, he'd tell me, do everything you got to do with it. And then he would just check out. And that was his role. That was my role. And I did everything else. And I felt huge resentments from doing that. And I think now, after having 10 years of communication about how that's just not going to work for us, he's starting to, connect more. It's not just about going to work and providing and coming home and paying for things. He has to connect with me on a deeper level and be present.
Yep.
So we're
yes,
we're working on that.
It's true, because it's funny because I just saw a Reels or a TikTok about this, and it's basically I was gonna do a TikTok with this audio, and the audio is basically saying, "This is me. This is me making $0 an hour," and it's basically me, washing dishes, vacuuming, being a parent, cooking, cleaning, $0 an hour, and it is, and I mean, we're joking about it, but it's true. And but it's a very valuable job. Like society has completely, and this is something that I almost got in trouble for earlier today. I just got out a restriction on my Facebook. And and it was for a joke, you guys. It wasn't for even anything political. I don't even share anything political. I haven't shared that stuff in almost a year. All right. I'm over it. So I was like, what the heck? You know why? And then today I shared, someone said something about women working or depending on a man. And my response was, women are being placed or forced into their masculine energy because men suck these days. And that's just what I said. I didn't mean anything, but that's how I put it because it's true. We are being forced into our masculine energy, but that's not what we were meant to be doing. We are the ones that are meant to be doing cord cuttings. We are the spiritual, we're the spiritual one in the household. Every single household needs, it's like, okay, look at it like a village. Let's even like Pandora or Avatar, right? There's a spiritualist. There's always a spiritualist and a leader. No matter what, there's a chief and then there's a spiritualist, whatever you choose to call it. We're that spiritualist. The woman is that person in every single household. We're the healer, we're the caretaker, we're the giver, we're the nurturer, we're the ones that carry love, and what pays us? Becky, what pays us? Getting it in what is it? To have it reciprocated back to us. That's our.
We have to fight for it. We have to work for it.
Why do we need to fight for it? We should not. I hate the fucking word should, because should it's bullshit. It's either yes or no. But anyways, we
should all over yourself.
No, and honestly, we shouldn't be forced into masculinity. We should be able to choose whatever we want to do, just like our grandparents did and our ancestors did. They got to choose if they wanted to work outside the home or whatever they got to do. And a lot of times they were the teachers. They were they were the ones that ran the schools and helped daycare, obviously took care of the children. And these are things that we do and we're wonderful at it, but we shouldn't be forced into masculinity. And, if we follow your heart, is all I'm saying. Yes, the man is the provider, and I feel like the woman has been forced to work due to oppression. So we're
the man is the provider, the professor, and the protector, and the three P's, according to Steve Harvey. I love Steve Harvey. I'm not a big fan of celebrities, but
no,
definitely he is
out still. Yeah.
There's good messages out there. That's the thing, is that there's good and bad everywhere. It really depends on how we're looking at things, and you can pull the light out of things. But really, this society has been tampered with. Our ways of thinking and the family unit has been tampered with, and it has been tampered with for a reason, to cause separation and to keep us from connecting in our unity, in our divinity. If we're separated from our masculine, we don't realize that the masculine is within us. And so we're searching on the outside for our masculine to fulfill those needs that he's not capable of fulfilling, because we're not in realization that we need to fulfill that in ourselves. And I think that for me, my journey has taught me how to be the masculine and the feminine for myself. And I had to come to those terms and that unity within myself before I started seeing it on the physical plane. And that's what they don't teach us. We're taught, go look for love. Everything's gonna be perfect. You watch these romances, and you don't see the happily ever after and how that works out. And it's all focused on the outward vision of what you need to go chase, and nobody's pointing inside and saying you got to come to unity inside first before anything outside you can manifest. Otherwise, you're just manifesting chaos and discord. And
you're manifesting for them. You're not manifesting for yourself. You're manifesting for someone else. You're giving your energy, your power away to someone else, the powers that be, instead of
I have built my relationship. I mean, my husband and I, and he will attest to this, that he was on his mother's couch. He didn't have a car. He didn't have a job. He was a single father, and he literally was at his rock bottom. And when he met me, it was like the light shone in his life. It just turned on, and he got up. He got a job, he got a car, we bought a house. All these things came in time, not just like within an
Right.
instant.
Exactly.
But
A
I
lot of hard work.
poured that energy into him where he felt that darkness and that emptiness, and I poured my light into him. And he is extremely grateful for that. But there are moments when he forgets, and he thinks that he did it all by himself. And I'm sure he was
That's
fully
where
capable of doing it all by himself, but it didn't happen that way. We worked together, and I spent so much time pouring my energy into him without anything in return energetically. I'm not saying that he didn't love me or he wasn't there for me. He didn't provide for me. He did those things on the physical level.
same,
But
exactly.
emotionally and spiritually, there was not a connection other than a physical connection. And it's taken us 10 years to get to the point where I'm finally seeing him come out of of just the physical connection and want to connect more on a spiritual level. And I'm talking in the last month or two.
Yeah, it
This
is because
10
that's
years and 2 months, and finally we're getting to the point where he's going, okay, now I trust you. Now I can be safe with you. Now I can be secure with you. I see a different version of you that I can feel safe with. And that's the thing, is that the reason that the female is so capable of connecting with spirit is because we're allowed to be emotional. We're allowed to contact that side of us that is spirit, that love, that nurturing, that light. It's socially acceptable for us to be in touch with that side. Men, on the other hand, have to be in battle mode. They have to be in survival mode, protect mode, constantly on guard, not allowed to cry, not allowed to show emotions. And so that causes a huge disconnection with spirit.
Yeah, well,
Um,
just like I wanted to get in real quick before we go forward a little bit was
mhm.
just to reel it back a little bit, because I agree with you there. When Joel and I was still married to my ex when I like found Joel again, and he had broke up with his girlfriend at the time, but he literally was living in the desert with no electricity and a little tiny trailer. All right, nothing. And I was like, and he was getting ready to go out and do stupid shit because he had discharged his numbers and all of that a couple times. And when I met him, literally the same thing. Same thing.
Funny.
I told him, get on the fucking bus and I bought him a fucking Greyhound ticket and I told him to get to South Dakota to be with me. And he did. And on February 1st, 2012 is when he got out there. Well, on the 3rd. He got out there on the 3rd because it's a journey. I'll have to tell that story. It's pretty interesting because he ended up getting stuck in Denver in a blizzard and I had to drive down there and get him. And it was hella fun, but and crazy. But we did it. We were crazy kids. And just like you said, like he saw that light in me and got up and got motivated. Like he saw that light in me and got up and got motivated too. And it's like, yeah, in 2012, that's when it happened for me. Yeah.
And then they get to the point where they forget where the light's coming from. And
Like, I've literally
yeah.
been here the whole time helping you, supporting you, taking care of your kids, so that you could go out and work. And you've been doing it the entire time. And I've been supporting you the entire time and got zero recognition. I mean, not complaining because he does pay for everything. And I am very grateful for that. With my mental illness, I've really had to I've really had to look at, the positive and the good stuff too, because we can both get right. We've been through so much. I lost both of my parents. He's lost his best friend. There's just been tragedy and this and that and the other. We have walked through all of it. And we're about right now, just like you said, within the past month, because we're in a phase of acceleration right now. And because of that phase of acceleration, we can really see the masculine and the people that are not awake. We can really start seeing the change. They're really starting to pull away and go, what's really going on here? And they're starting to think. They're starting to pull away. It's beautiful. If you think about it, they're not really pulling away from you or me. They're pulling away because they're listening to their spirit. Isn't that freaking awesome? They're like literally trying to step back because things aren't adding up like they used to for them. And
well, this world, the way the world is right now, is not really allowing for much normalcy, and so it's
it's just one thing after another after another. Yeah. Look at the things that are happening in Ohio and Texas and Michigan and Arizona, these spills.
I know. My husband came home yesterday and showed me a video of a UFO, And I looked over and I didn't say anything, but I just thought, that was interesting that
Yeah,
he's
Sal.
showing me the videos of the UFOs now
Yes,
instead of me, you know.
yes, please. I'm waiting for that because he doesn't believe me. And I'm like, dude, you don't understand. Like, look at that cloud. Like, there's no way that's a cloud. Look at it. Look at it.
Oh my gosh, we just had that conversation literally on Valentine's Day. We were driving to our dinner reservation and I was looking at all these odd shaped clouds and I kept saying, look at that cloud. That is not right. That is not a cloud. And he was
Right.
like, why can't they just be clouds? And I said, they could be just clouds, but that doesn't look like a
That's
cloud.
not a freaking cloud, though. Look at
I
it.
mean,
You can
they're
tell.
here. They're here and they are celebrating our achievements. They
Yeah,
are
and
watching and they're waiting and they cannot intervene with our will unless we ask them to. And that's what people don't understand. Why don't the aliens come in and save us? Why don't they invade? Because we haven't asked them to as a collective. Because there are not enough of us who are giving our consent for them to reveal themselves. These false UFOs that they're showing, there's no way that the U.S. government could shut down a balloon that's supposedly a UFO or whatever these things are. I've seen nuclear power stations lose control to a UFO. If they can control a nuclear power station, do you really think that we're capable of shooting them down?
Honestly, that's what I was saying. It's not. They're not the ones that are getting shot down are actually man-made.
Yes.
You know, I hate to be the shocker of
Yeah.
creating.
And the real ones are sitting there probably laughing, going, look at them. And
Listen,
you know what? This is the disclosure that we need. We need enough people to believe. And so I see it as a good thing. You know what I mean? Like all these people are scared. My mother's saying it's demons. And I'm like, oh my gosh, just calm the heck down.
Whatever, dude. The UFOs, the aliens have been here before humans, so you guys can just get over that, all right? They've been here before.
We are the aliens too. That's the funny part that nobody understands is that we are so connected to them on a DNA level, on a spiritual level, on everything. We are them and they are us. They're our cousins, our brothers, our sisters. You know, I go out into the night sky
That's
and
our family.
I'm like, hi brothers, hi sisters, hi star family. Like I'm literally waving at them. And then I will look up and all of a sudden what looks like a regular airplane will kind of morph a little bit and I'm going, all right, let's play the game of, guess the shape of what ship I am. And and I'm just watching and I'm like, all right, they play games and I'm sitting here watching, like they're there for our like entertainment. If we want to notice them, you just got to raise your vibe high enough to see them and to say, hey, I'm here. Like, and we have fun. That's the funny part. I know they're there. They know I'm here. And you can literally telepathically connect to them. When you see something that looks like a plane or you're a star or whatever, connect to it. Connect to it and look at it and see if you can telepathically talk to the driver. What?
Well, okay, wait. Before you do all of that, you need to make sure you're in a high vibration because there's not
That's a good point.
There's not all good things, so you have to know who you're talking to.
You have to be in a level
set your intention to reach your star family, you set your intentions. That is very important because there's always beings and not entities, but energies watching us. So
you don't want to open yourself up to everything.
Don't be open.
There's things on every vibrational level at all times, and that's a good point because when I am looking up in the sky, there are times when I see ships and I can discern what feels good by their energy. So that's
most
definitely
of the time,
a good point.
if you see them, they're good. I'm gonna be honest. If they are showing themselves to you, they're good. The ones that are not are the ones that are hidden. Okay, so I'm just gonna throw that out there because that came to me. So I trust that because that came to me from my team. I'm very connected to my team, you guys. So I am, and my team also works on the light ships too. So, it's like. You gotta just
feel the
discern.
vibration. Like I can feel them. I can feel them before I see them, and that's the thing. I feel them, and then they show themselves.
Yes,
so
exactly.
It's a discernment thing. You have to know the energy, and you have to know how to work with that energy and connect to that energy. So you can
feel it too because it feels good and beautiful, and it feels from God. It feels like it's from Source.
If there's fear, if there's anything that makes you
fear-based,
have fear or a chill or any kind of negative emotion, do not connect with that.
But don't call on that and just call on your guides. Say, hey, my team, I'm calling on my team, you know, put protection around me, and they're there. They're literally waiting on you, hand and foot. You guys, if you don't tell them or ask them or call on them, they can't do anything but sit around and watch you. It's literally free will. They cannot, it's a universal law, you guys.
And that comes back to the cord cutting too, and the energy protection and keeping yourself disconnected from things that are not of the highest light.
Yes, clean your energy. You have energy. Please clean it. And all you have to do is literally just light a candle and walk away, or light a
candle, make a crystal grid. So what I do is I have a salt spray, and I do 3 circles around myself, or more or less, depending on what I'm feeling like. Yeah, I'll just spray the salt spray around me, and my husband's like, "You sprayed that stuff again," and I'm like, "Yep, I bet you smell it, demon."
See, that's why I like the rose spray, because roses, that was one of the things. I did a master class with Anna Wood, and she did a master class on protection, and she just laid it all out. It was awesome. So I got rose water. I got it from Piping Rock, and literally the only thing in it is purified water and lightweight Bulgarian rose floral water. That's it. And
Florida water is good for that too, although I don't like the way it smells.
But it does. This is, I mean, you can get the more fragrancy ones, but it's more fake. This is real. Yeah. And that's why I like it so much. And I usually I'll even spray my pillows and my bed before I even get in it at nighttime. And you have good dreams, and, you know, no nightmares, nothing like that. Especially if you have trouble sleeping, you know, you can do that.
Well, yeah. And if you cut if you close your energy field at the end of the night, cut those cords for the day, you sleep better. Something that I want to talk about now is the people and the animals that we are responsible for, and taking care of their energy as well, because we are responsible for our children. They're not of the age where they are capable. They need our guidance. They need our protection. Our animals as well. Whenever I burn sage, my dog starts sneezing, and I open the door, and she's fine, because things attach to them too. Whether it's you know, something from outside, whether it's something she picked up, you know, but there are things that attach to the people and the animals as well that we're responsible for. So we have to put that white light shield around them. That's one thing that you can do to protect and to cut those energy ties, is put white light around them. Burning sage definitely helps. My family, they hate it, and I love it, because I know it's not them that hate it. It's whatever's in them or attached to them that they've picked up that is not in agreement with it. And a couple of weeks ago, my daughter was throwing a massive fit. And I knew it wasn't her. I knew she was tired. She was sick. Something was not normal with her. And for me, when I see something that's not normal with her, I know that there's some kind of energy attached to her. And so she's throwing a fit, slamming doors, running in and out of the house, like just throwing a fit. So I'm at my wit's end. I don't know what to do. My husband's standing around, doesn't know what to do. And literally all of a sudden this thought comes to me: put your palm on her forehead and light some sage. And I put my palm on her forehead. I lit some sage. I could almost like see whatever it was being cast out of her. And afterwards she told me she had a massive headache. And she's 7 years old. She had massive headache where I touched her on the forehead. And whatever it was taking over her. And I had to do I had to do Reiki. I had to do protection on her to get that thing out of her, get whatever it was out of her, you know. And I don't want her to feel like that's her, you know. Then that's what happens to us, is that we get these energies that attach themselves to us, and we have bad behavior as adults, as children, and then we integrate it and think that that is ours. We think that we put shame around it, we put guilt around it, because of the bad things that we've done, because of these energies that we're not aware of. And then we attach the shame and the guilt to it.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you that we, as humans, especially here in the United States and some other places around the world, we are raised or brought up to be susceptible to other energies, attachments, and etc. So if you can just imagine PTSD and like mentally illnesses like borderline are stepping stone programs for attachments. So
And
they're literally, we
as
are
well.
literally set up. Yeah, exactly. We're set up to, for them to automatically attach to us. We're a magnet. We have a magnet called our third eye, you know, and they'll just attach to us here. And guess what? There's little that you can do about it if you don't know anything about it. And that's
when
why
we're not taught these things. We're not taught how to do energetic work. We're not taught how to close the energy fields, how to open the energy fields. We just are wide open to everything all the time, and then we're taking on all of these energies and not understanding. And we want to label them and say, well, I'm an alcoholic, I'm mentally ill, I'm this, I'm that. And at the end of the day, what it comes down to is that you're spiritually sick and that you need healing.
Yeah.
And not saying that those things don't exist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not anybody that can, you know, can diagnose anyone else. This is not a statement of saying that other people are wrong and I'm right. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that everything comes down to a disconnection from spirit. And whether it's illness, whether it's whatever it is, if you are connecting, you know, and there comes healing. Dolores Cannon says that we're not meant to be sick. We make ourselves sick.
No,
We make ourselves sick. We believe in illness. We believe in the germ theory. We believe in all of these things, and then we manifest them. And that right there is a disconnection from spirit. We don't understand that we are eternal beings and that there is no sickness. There is no death. It's all eternal energy.
They've all disabled it.
Form to form, but we are perfect beings. And sickness, it doesn't necessarily have to mean one thing or the other, and we don't have to fight it off with medicines. It could just mean that you're upgrading, that you're detoxing, that you ate something that doesn't agree with you and your body is transmuting it. And we don't need to define everything. Defining things is purely human. Putting a name on things and putting them in a box so that we can understand.
That's labeling. Yeah, that's what we do. That's how we've been taught, though, you know, to label things and downgrade things, and it's gaslighting.
Yeah. Instead of just realizing, okay, I need to pray, I need to meditate, I need to connect with God and understand the source of this. Sometimes nothing needs to be done.
Now I remember.
Your body does everything for you, and you don't need to do anything to interfere.
I remember now what I was going to say a second ago. Well, yeah, exactly what I was heading towards, because what we put in our body makes us sick. Like if you eating processed food, fast food, you know, convenient food, that kind of stuff, it's not that great for you. And they put bad stuff. Not, I hate to say bad. See, it's just a label. But there's
don't get me started on McDonald's and what I think they do.
Yeah. I'm just going to say, call them what they are, and it's parasites. There's a reason they didn't want us to have the Ivor, you know, medicine that is out there, because it gets rid of parasites.
Yeah,
I mean, if they get rid of parasites, they can't control us.
Our stores don't have that particular medicine, so I just went and got dewormer, and it works great. Dewormer, borax, those kind of things. Even just taking a borax bath and sitting in it and absorbing those minerals, it can help with that. Salt
you can tell because AI will be connected to bringing up things like we were just talking about that too. Because you'll start getting advertisements on things that you were thinking, right?
Gosh, yes. After I do a borax bath, my Facebook goes silent. It's crazy. Like I will literally do a detox bath, and then all of a sudden my whole world gets quiet. I was noticing that yesterday, that after doing my cord cutting ceremony yesterday and the day before, that everything just got real peaceful and real quiet. And I'm like, I don't know how to handle this peace. Like, what do I do? I'm used to chaos all the time.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! But with the ads on Facebook, when I disconnect from the AI with the detoxing, they don't know what I want to see, so they're trying to figure it out. They're scrambling. It's funny.
It's just random stuff like advertisements. I'm like, why am I getting this? I don't even know.
Because they don't know. They don't know. They've lost connection, and they're just literally putting out there whatever they think is going to be good, but they've lost that connection to your brain. Because I mean, not to get on a crazy tangent, but nanotechnology, nanobots, it's literally connecting through algorithms and they're reading your mind and then putting it, people, I mean, they're literally listening to you, reading your mind, and then implanting thoughts through these things. And that's what people don't realize, and they think I'm crazy when I talk about that. It's like, no, it's a little tiny robot chip or whatever it is in your body that's sending messages to you and taking messages from you. These crazy thoughts that you have, and you're like, was that me? No, it's an implanted thought. There was one time.
Robots, you don't need it. That's just extra spice. That's salt on top. That's like the cherry on top of the sundae. They don't need that. That's just cherry on top. They've been doing that shit for years.
Yeah.
Because it's thought forms.
That's why
the
cord cutting and detoxing is extremely important, because it is all about consent. We consent by eating these foods. We consent by taking these things into our bodies, by breathing the air. They take that as consent. Well, I rebuke, I revoke, I rescind all invitations. I do not give my consent. I take back my power. And making those kind of statements, it disables the ability to access you, because they cannot work on you without your own consent. We live in a world of free will, and because of our free will, we have power, and our power gives us the ability to say no.
Yeah. Oh, before I move on, I wanted to just say this one tripped me out. I had a neighbor, and she lived next door, and she was born here, but then moved to Mexico and lived in Mexico and then came back. And the whole time she was there, like every year, her doctor would give her medicine for parasites. She's like, yeah, we had medicine for parasites every year. Our doctor gives it to us. Because, you know, it's I'm just looking at her like, what? Can we have some, please? You know, like, why doesn't our government do that?
I don't know. That's just my my way of thinking. Is the government giving, or any doctor giving me something negative? Like,
oh my God, I wonder why they don't want us to have that stuff. And then there was literally, I learned even a while back, and that might be the same medicine, because a lot of our illnesses are caused by parasites.
But why do we deworm puppies and goats and all these animals and cows,
but not us,
horses, but not us? Why do we not get dewormed? We eat and touch the same ground and the same food. I mean, not exactly the same food, but we're around these animals.
I think they might get fed better than we do.
I don't know. They probably get fed about the same.
Probably. If you're not paying attention, shit.
We're all eating the same McDonald's grade D meat. We just don't know.
I know, gross. Nothing.
I know. Literally, I've been watching these reels and seeing what they do in fast food restaurants, and I won't stop anymore. I will make a sandwich. I will eat peanut butter and jelly before I will stop at a fast food place.
Seriously, when I worked at fast food restaurants, I gotta be honest with you, there was no problem. It was clean. We were good at our jobs. You know, we care.
No, not what the people that work there are doing. I'm saying where the food. Yes, what's in the food, and the way that the food comes and where it's coming from.
Remember, intentions are everything.
So our intentions are everything, but still,
our intentions were to keep us.
I'm not going to eat a spoonful of grease. I'm not going to eat a spoonful of motor oil and have the intention of it healing my body. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can have intentions and believe in things, but at the same time, I'm not going to put something that I know is not good for me in my body, and and then expect that I'm going to change the intentions of it. There's a level of awareness there that needs to,
There's so much too. Like, I'm upset, like I'm sad because I'm fully, I have all of my things for school. Like, as a kid, I was born in 1977, so I have all of my things and all of that stuff. But even back then, even just to go to school, you had to have it, and no one had a problem with it. Like,
well, the difference is that when we were children, it was 11 of them, and now they're giving them between 70 and 80 by the time they're 7.
Well, yeah, they
maybe by the time they're 13.
In California, unless they have their one, I think they call it Hep A or something, and they can't even leave the hospital without it.
What I don't understand is why they have to give that multiple times for the same one over and over and over. That's what I don't understand, because my daughter, when I look at her card, it has several of the same one over and over and over, and I'm going, she's had that 4 times in her first year.
supposedly they put the dead virus in it. And then when you're older, they put a live virus in it so that you have an immunity to it, because that builds. And in all reality, as a virologist, and I've studied this with Dr. Shiva, because he is, I'm obviously not, he's the double PhD MIT graduate, not me. This is his specialty. So Dr. Shiva, if you follow him, very, very, very smart, very wise. He's the one I follow for this stuff. And he, back with those, it was real. Because your body will build an immune system. White blood cells will recognize that. And if it enters your body later, it'll just die. It'll automatically attack it. See, that's the good part. Of course, there were good intentions to start with. Every single thing that has been corrupted had good intentions to begin with. Every single thing. The Red Cross had good intentions. The fast
I mean, as soon as they monetize everything and then make it a business, then it loses its a good
Pizza Hut, all of them. Colonel Sanders, they all had really good intentions. They would be horrified to find out what is going on these days with their food.
I saw something about the gravy at KFC, and I was like, I stopped eating there probably 12 years ago because we got something that looked like a rat. A chicken tender that looked like, or chicken wing that looked like a rat, and I was like, I cannot do this. But I watched a reel about their gravy and how they make it, and I was like, I'm grateful I don't eat there.
I mean, the gravy, like, you could just make it at home with cornstarch and
no, they take the drippings after days and days and days of the oil sitting there. Oh my gosh!
Look at Wendy's.
And people are putting this in their bodies.
Sorry, Wendy's. Wendy's chili is leftover meat too. So I mean, if you get it on a good day and they don't have any leftovers, or you get it in the morning even, they'll have to make it fresh. So I mean, there's things, but who wants that now? Like, there's always something. There's always something.
Well, and the best we can't live in fear of everything, because literally everything is poisoned down to our water and our air.
Right. So we need to live by best case scenario, no matter what.
Well, and this is something that we're powerful and we consent, and we're consenting or we're not consenting, and that we have the power to say, I'm going to allow this to hurt me, or I'm going to transmute it, allow it to, to filter out, and it's not going to harm me. And we have that power. And that
it's going to do it no matter what. It's going to do it no matter what, except the fact that it is going to cause harm. Like my body did its best with what it was given, and now I don't have a gallbladder. You know what I mean? And now I don't have an appendix, and I don't have a left ovary or a left fallopian tube, because I went down that path. You guys, I fucking did all that. I did all the medical testing. I got my flu shots, and I can tell now that they did have an effect on me. They did make me sicker. I had some random shit, just random symptoms, just a conundrum of symptoms after getting my flu shots, And I'm like, I thought I was having like strokes because I was having like tingling, but I was also getting activation. I was getting activated too. I had no idea what was going on with me.
Well, that's the funny thing is that, these ascension symptoms or activation symptoms or whatever, we're raising our vibration. We have to filter out all of that when we're raising our vibration. And so it looks like sickness. My sister, she's like, I've had strep throat so many times. And I'm like, you're just raising your vibe because you're near me. You don't even understand, like, your body. And she listens, not on a, she doesn't understand that she's actually listening, but she takes my advice. Like, the seeds are planted, and then she'll send me pictures of her doing like a foot detox, and then she gets sick right afterwards. And I said, you don't need to go to the doctor and take antibiotics. Your body's just detoxing. Relax. And she doesn't understand that, when you detox, that you're leveling up. And so to level up, you have to get rid of the bad things in the bad juju,
clean your body out,
bad stuff. And so it looks like what you would consider illness, and it's not necessarily illness. I went through this in November and December, where my body was just leveling up and coming into a higher vibration. And I was sick for 2 months. Oh my gosh. I don't think I've been that sick. And it turned out to be strep throat. And I finally had to go and get an antibiotic after 2 months. And that's not something that I generally do. I will do all the energy work that I can, get Reiki, my crystals, all of that. And sometimes it comes to a point where we do need that outside intervention. And so I'm not an advocate for any of that, but I will say that at times it's needed.
Do sometimes.
That we're not, we're not capable of fighting everything.
Well, you have to be careful with that too. Just like my gallbladder got taken out. When I first had my gallbladder issues, the doctors should have told me what to do. Like, stop eating crap. Stop eating crap. Eat good, healthy food. Eat raw vegetables. Fast. Heal your body. Detox. Did they tell me to do any of those things?
No.
No, they did not. When I was having gastrointestinal issues, do they tell you to clean your body out? Do they tell you to eat healthy, go for a walk?
No, they
No.
gave me. I had stomach issues too. It came down to IBS, and they gave me a diet that goes against everything that is healthy. And I'm going, no, I'm not going to stop eating greens and things that I know, and garlic and things that I know are good for me, because you're saying that they're hurting me. No, you're trying. Like, I feel like it's those taking away the good parts of my diet and saying that, you need to focus on this. I forget what kind of diet it was, but it was so restricted, and I was like, this doesn't make any sense. And
well, and honestly, every single person on this planet has a diet, if you want to call it that, to their own body. It's whatever is for your body. Your body will tell you what it needs if you listen to it. It will tell you, I want celery. I want broccoli today. Actually, today I want a cheeseburger, or whatever. It's like, I want honey, or it'll tell you what it wants. If you listen.
I've been making a morning shake, and every day I keep getting like little signals, like add this to it, add that to it. Yesterday it was add honey to it to make it to offset the grapefruit, and today it was add spinach to it. And oh my gosh, the shake I made today, it had spinach, bananas, strawberries, blueberries, grapefruit, turmeric, chia seeds,
You need to be sharing recipes, okay? So, girl, you need to be make your little videos, like I was telling you.
So good. I know. I just
the ingredients.
My kitchen's a mess right now, and I need to actually get like one of those tripod things where I can set it up and to where I'm not just taking pictures, because I need my hands, when I'm cooking and stuff. And I think that would be great to get a little tripod so I can actually show what I'm doing when I'm cooking. Because I love watching those videos. I just, I haven't had the ability to position the camera. Every time I try to prop it up on something, it's not at the right angle. I can't see, so that is definitely something I'm working on getting.
Real quick, I just want to talk about that because actually this week, this is a good example. This week, what we're going through, because we're getting strong activations. Even our crystalline children are getting DNA activations. So I got that from Rick Jewers. If anyone watches Rick Jewers, he's the one that updated us on that, because I've seen it. My son was very sick. My daughter's been very sick, and my husband was very sick this week, vomiting, etc. Did I get it? Did I get sick?
No,
I did not.
That's the thing. I don't either. If I do, it's the last minute, and it's because I, for 1 second, thought, "Oh, I'm gonna get this." Like that thought will come in my head, and then all of a sudden I get it, and I'm like, "Damn it! Why did I think that?"
It's mind over matter, and I have honestly been using mind over matter for years. I learned that trick back when I worked for Family First, and this gentleman, he was actually Christian, and he was like, "I don't get sick." And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, I just don't, I never accept it. I always rebuke it. And I'm like, you're right. So ever since then, I was rebuking illnesses. I'm not going to get that.
Oh, cutting cords with illnesses. Right there. I mean, it's funny how everything that we're talking about is kind of tying in. And so when we get to the end, I want to do just like a statement of, something against all of technology, all of the dark energy, all of those things. Just, I think I saved one somewhere. I'll look at it. Look for it.
Yeah. But yeah, truly, because honestly, like this week now, I've been dealing with, my son got sick first, and it was bad. He was moaning and crying, and I honestly thought he had like food poisoning, but I was really just listening to my intuition and my inner guidance, which is I would say mandatory to listen to your inner guidance and everything, because you don't know, you have to follow your inner guidance. That'll tell you what to do. And so then he was fine. And then Zoe got sick. And the same day Zoe got sick, my husband got sick. And the poor dude had to pull over like 5 times because he works 200 miles away. And I felt awful. It was horrible. It's such terrible. but he made it. I babied him. I made sure to baby him when he got here. I took good care of him, I promise. But yeah, it was awful. I felt so bad. But I ended up, not getting it. I made everyone soup. I made everyone fast though, because I was the one in charge and no one could argue with me. So everyone fasted and then had some liquids, clear liquids. And then they went from there on their own. They were able to choose whatever they wanted to eat. But that's where I was like, yeah. And that right there, what is that? What is that doing? I'm literally being like, not that I'm a doctor, because I'm definitely not, but that's what my job is as the mom, to follow my inner guidance and my intuition and make sure everyone's taken care of. I do my best. I really do.
I know it is our job to kind of be the caretaker of everybody, and I'm grateful for that role.
I am.
As long as it's in balance. 144. And it's 144 here.
Awesome. That's awesome. I love it.
So I'm reading this, and I don't know if it's necessarily like a cord cutting as much as a decree and a vow.
You could just say it, because
okay,
you don't
so
have to read it.
this came from AscensionGlossary.com, and I love. I think it's Ascension. Let me see, Ascension Glossary. I'm gonna look it up. Ascension, yeah, AscensionGlossary.com, and I love them for like my go-to for if I have a question, like what does this mean, or what does that look like. They have it's kind of like Wikipedia, but for like Ascension.
That's awesome.
So if I have a question, like, I'll hear somebody talk about something, and I'm like, well, I don't know what that means. And I'll go look it up, and usually it's in there. So this came from them it's talking about their, it's called the 12D Shield Hub Handshake and the Unity Vow.
Yep.
Defenders of truth, sovereignty. All right, let me start over. Defenders of truth, sovereignty, and liberation, guardian families serving the one. From across all the multiverses, I call upon my guardian families to join me now. My unification is demonstrated in the waves of Omni love. I sound my heart tone to you now. My energy template updated, renewed, and forever perpetrated in the eternally sustained light. My alchemical container is consecrated and dedicated to the purposes of one, and I endeavor to be the knower of God, to be the way shower of God. Please sustain me in the eternal power of my consecration. I have asked for your gatekeeper in order to hold my mission, my highest purpose, in service to the one light, my source, the living light code. My intention is unification, the cosmic Christ principle, as an energetic reality here and now. I request a handshake to fortify my spiritual links through the universal cosmic trinity and into the core of one, the 0-point God matrix, that which is the source of my genesis. With deep reverence for all of life, dear God, breathe your living life codes into my created form. I set my intention now to be remembered to that which I am, fully, completely, and totally God, sovereign, free. I state my mutual purpose as one. Please resurrect all inorganic and artificial patterns to the organic living light now. And to that I say, thank God, I am the living eternal light. And so it is lovingly decreed. And at the end, it kind of, I resurrect all of the inorganic and artificial patterns. So really, it is calling my power back. That's what cord cutting is, calling my power back and sending all inorganic and negative energy and anything that's attached to me to the light for transmutation and through love and unity and harmony. And and that's pretty much. And then forgiveness, that's the most important part, is that I stand in front of you, I forgive you for what you've done, I forgive myself for what I've done, and that across all times, dimensions, planes of existence, blah blah blah, all of that. So it's really just a stance of power and commanding my personal space, commanding and saying that my space is God, sovereign and free, that I am God, sovereign and free, and that my personal sacred area is clear of anything that wants to attach it to me. So giving our consent to ourselves, taking back our power, that's what cord cutting is all about. Now, if you need a physical representation of, you're imagining a cord between you and another person, what I do, what I did the other night is I got 2 little candles, tied a cord around them, and lit each candle. Imagine myself as one candle, imagine the other person as another candle. And for me, I had a lot of cords, so I wrapped the cord around several times and then burned the candles down, and they burn the cord, they separate, and my candle was completely alone, no cords attached to it. All the cords were attached to the other person at that point. And the video was 44 seconds long. Perfect 44, divine feminine right there. But I just felt, ease. I felt that it had been resolved. Another way of cutting cords is just to imagine an energetic cord, a tentacle, a tree branch, a vine, whatever it is that you need to imagine. It could be just a light of energy, a ray of some sort. And I just take my fingers and do a scissor motion and cut the cord, and say some kind of statement, I'm cutting the cord, and it is done. Or, it can be as simple as that. Our intentions and our power is very strong, that we don't need to put a huge, long decree on it. It can be something as simple as I'm cutting the cord. I'm cutting the cord and it's done.
It's your intention that matters. That's all that matters is your intention. And,
well, and it's not permanent. These cords we're gonna reconnect with these people. We're gonna, if we want to, we're gonna reconnect with these devices, with these energies. And so that's why the practice of it is important, because we're not going to be completely walking alone in this world. We're always going to have these connections. And so we have to remember to disconnect. And it's as simple as just doing a scissor motion and I cut the cord. You don't have to go spend money on candles and string and all of that. It just is just a physical representation and a ritual act, which I think can be cathartic, and it can be satisfying to do that and to see that and to feel like it's done. But it doesn't have to get that serious every single time. Now, there's another thing that I want to talk about with physical relationships, sexual relationships. Now, there is a deeper cord that is drawn between the two in connection with sexual acts, because there's a transference of fluids, of energy, of connection that's on a deeper level than just talking to someone or just looking at something on Facebook. So there's an actual energetic cord that is stronger, that when you break up with that person and you close the door, you're still having dreams about them 10 years later. When you have a dream about them, there's other, that's a deeper cord that needs to be cut. And for those, cord cutting meditations are really good. And sometimes you have to do them over and over, because there's many cords connected to those people. Every time that person thinks about you, and then all of a sudden you're having that thought about that person and you're going, why am I thinking about this person 10 years later? It's because that cord's still there, and they're having a memory or they're having an experience, and all of a sudden you've come into their mind, and or vice versa. You're thinking about them and it's connecting them. And that's why we have these people that haven't seen each other in years, and they're still like hung on to one another even though they hate each other. Or they know they're not meant to be together, but for some reason they're going, why does spirit keep showing me this person? It's not spirit showing you this person. Spirit showing you that this person is still attached, and that attachment needs to be disconnected. And so I'll still have dreams about my ex, and I'll wake up, and I did this for years, where I'd wake up and I'd believe that I was still in love with my ex, and I'm like, but I don't like him. Why am I dreaming about him? Like, why is he in my dreams all the time? Well, because on a different dimension, we're still connected. On another level, we're still connected. And so it's important to find ways, whatever you're guided to disconnect. I don't have a exact process for each situation, but you have to find different ways to disconnect those cords. And you have to do something that's a little more powerful than just saying, I'm cutting the cord. So whatever resonates for you, whatever you feel drawn to, that will help in disconnecting those. But I think awareness of it is the first step, and then asking spirit to guide you and what will help to disconnect that cord.
Yep, exactly. Because a lot of it, and also it has been called soul fragmentation as well, where you're literally missing parts of yourself and you can retrieve your soul bits. Same type of ceremony. Same as saint.
Trauma does that, and that's why a lot of light workers and star seeds and intuitives are attacked with trauma as children, is to fragment our souls so that we are in different, so that we can't come back together. And so our mission and our job is to reunite, union with all of our fragments. So that's why there's sexual trauma, is to disconnect you with the masculine or the feminine, or to cause trauma so that we're separated and we can't come to unity. So we have to reunite ourselves through healing and reconnect those parts of us that have been fragmented off by trauma, sexual acts, by all of these things. It is our responsibility to do those things. And once you become awake, you realize that, you become aware of these things one at a time as they come up. I mean, that's the beauty of it, is not all just going to come in your face all at once and then you're like, man, this is too much. It comes a little at a time, the way that it's supposed to, and then you tackle each thing every single day.
Yep. And for all those religious people out there, I want you to know that actually calling demons out is pretty much the same thing.
Demons, energy, whatever you want to call it. The names don't matter. The names don't matter.
When I first got not ordained, but attuned. When I first became attuned and I started receiving all of my light body, and it was funny because that happened at a place that I actually was assaulted at, unfortunately. And it's kind of funny. But anyways, the pastor there, Pastor Maddox, very genuine, very loving, could see past all of that. And he's the one at the time, because this is way back in 2000. He told me that I was going to have children again too, and I always was like, okay. So I always kind of carried that with me, and I did. I had 2 more later, but anyways, he was amazing, and he is the person that attuned me the first time. And what happened was, he took us girls to other churches, and he would lay hands on people. Now, because he was a man and he had a strict law or whatever, he would have us touch women especially. So he would take our hand and put it on them wherever it needed to be healed. And I was like, okay, so this is when I got my attunement. Wow, and I want you guys to know that cutting cords and attachments is the same as calling demons out. It's what they called calling demons out and possession. It's one and the same. Okay.
Well, laying hands is very similar, if not the same, as Reiki.
It is Reiki.
Is it not? Is it? I mean, isn't there a Reiki that's like God's holy fire? That is. I mean, you have to be an ordained minister to do Reiki. I mean, that's one of the requirements of being a Reiki practitioner, is getting registered as a minister.
I am ordained. I am ordained.
That's anybody that's thinking that Reiki is not, of God, or that it's demonic or any of that, like my mother, it's like, no, this is ministry. It's the same thing.
It's ministry. It's the same thing that who is it, Benny Hinn or whatever? I think that guy was fake though. But there's been healers that have been religious, and I mean, religious people and pastors have seen crazy miraculous things as well. Okay, so it's real. These healings are real. Healing bones overnight is real. This is real, but it depends on you as a person. What are you willing to believe? Are you willing to let that illness go? Are you willing to be healed? Because if you are not willing to be healed, then nobody, of course it's not going to fucking work. If you don't believe it works, and of course it's not going to fucking work.
Because it's consent. If you're not consenting, it doesn't matter if you have Jesus on top of you with his hands laying on you. If you say no, I'm just saying that level of power and that awareness. If you say no, you don't want this, he cannot do it. It doesn't matter how powerful. Just like God has all the power. Source has all the power, and he cannot help us unless we ask for it.
Lazarus would have never came back if he didn't believe it could happen. Okay, you have to believe. You know, it's your beliefs that create your reality. It's your thoughts that create your reality. You know, Ascension is about changing how you see things, changing how you think, you know, and gaining your power back is taking your thoughts back and taking your feelings back, you know, and becoming a whole person and choosing what you want to respond to instead of just reacting. You know, this self mastery is what creates the 5D. Okay. Self mastery creates the 5D. It's not the other way around. It's the inner work that brings love. It's the inner work that brings it out into the world.
We absolutely project our reality from inside. That if you flip everything around, flipping the script, we are actually backwards. That the inside is the outside is the inside. So when we work on the outside trying to heal the inside, that doesn't work. You have to work on the inside to heal the outside. It goes body, then outside. You have to heal inside first, and then it might take years, it might take days, it might take minutes, it might take, you know, lifetimes. I don't know, but you know, I'm not here to quote time frames, but that healing will happen when it's supposed to happen. And so, you know, we can't put those limits on the universe and say I need it to happen right this second. But you know, healing happens inside. Yes, divine timing. But our job is to work on the inside and stop getting drawn out with distractions. Set boundaries. That is one thing that I am learning, and I'm doing it the hard way, is setting boundaries and saying no. And sometimes learning compromise, because I want to say no to everything and say, no, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine. And in a marriage, in a relationship, sometimes you have to be willing to give a little tiny bit, but you can still maintain your boundaries in order to do that. So, like, for instance, tonight, my husband wants to go work on his brother's car. I absolutely am not a fan of going over there. You know, I'm not interested in my husband getting drunk and hanging out with his brother, who, you know, might or might not be a little weird. I'm not going to get into that, but you know, he wants to take the dogs. He wants to go spend the night there. And I like, absolutely not. I'm not doing it. No, I don't. I have no interest. It does absolutely nothing for me. But being in a marriage, you can't always have your way and you know, make that work. You know, you can't be rigid all the time. And so the compromise is that we'll go over there, but we're not spending the night. And so I give a little bit, but I'm stating my boundaries and I'm staying within them. And I'm saying, this is what I'm willing to do, but I'm still honoring myself at the same time. And that keeps those cords and keeps me safe, keeps me feeling appreciated and loved and taken care of by myself. You know what I mean? I don't need him to appreciate and love. I enjoy when he does those things, but I need to do those things for myself. And I need to say, this is what I need, and this is what I'm willing to do, and these are my boundaries, and this is what I'm capable of. So, you know, setting boundaries doesn't always mean a hard no. Sometimes it means looking at the situation and saying, okay, this is what I'm willing and what I'm capable of doing to maintain my balance and to keep myself feeling honored. So that's important too, is realizing that, you know, we're not just going to walk around this world shut off to the rest of it and be hermits on a mountaintop. That would be nice, but you get lonely, you get bored, you'd want interaction. I mean, there may be some people that are capable of doing that, but I know me personally, I need connection. So it's all about balance. It's all about maintaining balance and finding compromise, and then just being mindful of it and making it a practice. So it's an ongoing thing. As long as we're taking breath, we're breathing energy. You know, we are energy. That's the thing. We can't just shut off our energy and not connect with anybody. We are literally light, and so light touches other things.
Oh, come on, man. I can't stay home and freaking hide and hermit in my house the entire time. Damn it.
A little while, but eventually you will poke out of your hole and you'll say, I need some love.
No, I need it now. I'm there. Yeah, I am there because like Joel's going on a trip. Like like we're talking about compromise.
Ellen, that's crazy. Ellen's going on a trip this weekend.
It's not this weekend, but next week. Well, he's already been working 7 days a week, so I already feel neglected. But he's going, and I'm sad because he's going, and I'm really like want to go too. But it's like I want him to go because he needs to go and clear his mind and get his mind right. Like he's literally been putting us first and his job first. You know what I mean? Like I literally need to give him his time and his space right now so he can figure out Joel. That's so
I
important
understand
to
completely.
cut cords to do
It's
that.
funny.
I had to.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But
That's
yesterday, Alan came home, my husband, and he bought himself a new pair of shoes for work. That morning, or yesterday morning, I looked at him and his pants had lost a button. His shoes had a hole in them. He put silicone in his shoes so that they wouldn't get water in them. And I said, "You work 6 days a week, 70 hours a week. Go buy yourself some pants and some shoes." So I was
Jeez.
taking a nap. He called me and he was trying to get permission to buy shoes. I didn't answer because I was napping. Well, he went and bought himself shoes. He came home, he wore those shoes in the house, and he paraded them around like he was on fashion show. He
That's
was
awesome.
so happy that he did something for himself, because
Dude,
we don't do things to make ourselves, we do things for each
dude,
other, but we
we
don't make
joke.
ourselves feel happy.
Look, we joke about, I saw jokes about this because men were waiting to get their gifts to get, holy or not holy underwear or not, good underwear and good socks. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so sad. I feel so bad. But how many men are out there like that? I mean, that's just sad. Like, he literally has worked his ass off and he worked so hard, he puts holes in his underwear and socks. Like, can you imagine working so hard that you put fucking holes in your underwear and socks? I can't
And
because I've never done that.
that's why there's a disconnection, because
I've
they're
never done
seeing,
that. Also, I don't
they're
have balls, but
well, no, yeah,
that
but
too.
they see us as sitting around doing nothing all day. They're not here watching us wash the dishes, do the laundry, take care of the kids, do the homework, make the meals, clean up after everything,
But my
keep the
work is
house clean.
valid too, though. My work
Yeah,
is valid too, damn it,
so,
but his work is valid.
but they see a disconnection. They see, I don't take care of myself, and you get to take care of yourself all the time, and so there's this disconnection. And so I want my husband to take care of himself too.
He
I
can't
am
control
now in the
himself
place
like
where I want
that.
him to honor himself. In order for me to honor myself, I have to give him the freedom to honor himself.
That's where
And
I'm at. Exactly. I'm learning this lesson. And it's so difficult because I really do had all those attachments. And so, yes, I've been dealing with that this week, cutting those cords, dealing with those attachments, doing the cord cutting, doing the ceremonies, setting intentions, and trying to just hold my feelings back because, yes, I'm very, very, very sensitive and my feelings are valid. However, my feelings aren't more important than his and his freedom. See, I need to have that separation where his important and he needs to deal with it. And so that's what I'm doing. But so to honor myself, I decided that me and the kids are going to Joshua Tree National Park because we have free passes. I have 3 free passes and we've never used them. So while he's going on that Saturday that I want to go so badly, me and the kids are going to honor ourselves and go to Joshua Tree National Park that day instead and stay until it gets dark so we can see the Milky Way, because you can see the Milky Way there. It's
oh
so
my God,
beautiful.
awesome! You better take pictures. I want to see pictures.
I'll do my best. You know how cameras are. Like, I'm like, oh, it's
No.
magnificent. It's like shitty when you get it. It's like, I don't have the
You
lenses.
go outside and look at the full moon and take a picture, and you're like, what? That doesn't look right.
It's so far away. It's right there, but no, I don't have
know,
those.
it looks so big and bright and beautiful, and then you're like, no, doesn't look right. The only thing I will say is the sun. When I take pictures of the sun, that thing shines.
That's
It
so
looks awesome on the
beautiful.
camera, and I love it. I love my sun pictures.
And
I
I'm
love
always
the
sharing
sun.
them. Yep, me too. I love the sun.
It's healing. Whoever came up with this idea that the sun was poisonous and all of this crap, they
Yeah.
just need to stop. The
Their
things that we're putting on our body to prevent
sunscreen
sun
causes
is
cancer.
what's
Okay.
causing the cancer. So
It's the ingredients in the skin care. It's the ingredients in your hair care. It's the ingredients in your deodorant. It's the ingredients in your
it's going to the
soap.
tanning salons and getting artificial light that's causing it, and then saying,
That's
"Oh, it's skin cancer." No, you're not getting skin cancer from getting your DNA upgrades.
outside
You're getting skin
sources.
cancer because you believe. First of all, you believe you can get skin cancer. That is the number one thing that's going to give it to you.
My
And
husband
then
and I
there's other things.
we're living proof that you're in the sun all the time. Like my husband, you don't get sunburned when you go to the beach. But because I'm inside all the time, I got burnt like a lobster because I'm never in the sun. I didn't have any tolerance. See,
Well, that's
so
the
if
thing.
you're
I
in the
spend 20 minutes to an
yep,
hour in the springtime.
you
I
build
will
that
start
tolerance. Some
building up.
people
Yes, and
build
I
it.
don't get sunburn. I am tan.
Mhm.
I have an olive complexion
Yeah,
normally, just genetically.
yeah.
And so I have a good, I can get sunburn, but if I do it gradually and I do it in small increments to where I'm just healing myself through the sun and not sitting out for 14 hours in the sunlight all day long. I mean, I take breaks, but I do it effectively. And, you know, I spend a lot of time taking in light codes and taking in the sunlight and sun gazing. And these things are all beneficial to us. But, you know, if you're going to go 100% in the sun, I know that if I'm going to go on a boat or if I'm going to the beach all day, that I need to wear protection in hats or long sleeve.
Yeah, or an umbrella, even.
Or you have to have some kind of sun protection. But you know, I don't limit myself from it. I build myself up for it. You know, I mean, of course, if you go out and get sunburnt, you're going to have adverse effects. That's going to cause issues. But our belief has a lot to do with it too. Believing that things can harm you causes them to harm you.
Well, also having no immunity to the sun also.
Yeah.
That's my own fault for not going outside. I mean, and it's not that, it's because I live in the desert, and in the summer here, it's pretty hot. People die here. I'm sorry to say. I literally had someone die here my first year. They were not 30 feet from my house, you know, and I was just horrified that had happened, not 30 feet from my house when I was here the entire fucking time, and literally I'm just horrified. But yeah, you die here in the summer. You don't go out hiking here. You have to respect.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the earth. You have to be respectful. It can be a powerful thing. It can be a powerful thing.
We're really close to Death Valley. Like, literally, you cannot go out here, and it's fucking, you need to add 10 degrees. If you come out here, anyone come out to Joshua Tree in the summer, add 10 degrees to the temperature, and that's more accurate, because that's how harsh the sun is here. Because obviously it's a fucking desert, you know what I mean? Just saying. Common sense would say that, but people come here and end up dying all the time, and it's really, really sad, because they just, I don't know, they don't have common sense. I don't know what it is. It's just really sad.
There, it would be probably in like the colder months. I don't think I would come there in like August or September.
Like I said, we're gonna go on not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. You know,
I wish I could join you. That would be so fun. But you're a day and 4 hours away from me, straight driving. So
that sucks. Yeah, that's what sucks. But anyways, I think we're wrapping it up. Was there anything else? I'm trying to think.
I think we covered it all. There's one more thing. A friend of mine said that if you're dealing with the mother, with cutting cords with mothers.
Oh yes, yes. It's an umbilical
connection. That it's an umbilical cord.
Yes.
Connection, and that is extremely strong. And so she did not get back to me on what that would be. She said that she couldn't find the references that she was talking about. So, and I've looked it up and I couldn't find anything. It just comes up with umbilical cords and babies and stuff. So,
yeah, exactly.
But I will do a little bit of research and see if I can find anything, and then maybe we can talk about that in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, that
mother and the father wound. Those are, there's meditations for those too that you can find on YouTube for the mother and the father wound, healing the divine masculine, healing the divine feminine, because that's why there's so much trauma around the relationships that we have with our parents, is also as a disconnection to keep us from being in our own sovereignty. So that's important to do with cutting cords, is healing the father and the mother, the divine masculine, divine feminine. So those are some meditations that people can do.
Very important stuff, very important work. And we're going to come back next time, because we need to do the grid lines. I think that's the next time. We need to do the grid lines and ley lines, because I think
that's a big part of what I do. Rick Dewars oh my gosh, I absolutely love Rick Dewars and his guidance and his posts that he puts on Facebook to let us know where to send our energy.
And I just want you guys to know that, even though you're sitting there and you're a light worker, you're working whether you know it or not, okay? But when you set intentions and you do something consciously, you're a very powerful being. And that's all we're trying to do here. Because even though you're just going out in the world doing, you think you're doing nothing. No, you are doing a lot. However, when you're consciously doing stuff and doing energy work, it is so much more powerful to set intentions, etc. So that's what we want to do. We
Yeah,
want to help.
definitely. That is so important. That is a big part of my mission. I think it's a big part of your mission is finding
Absolutely.
these energy
Anchoring
centers,
energy, anchoring, and
anchoring energy, and then also clearing the negative energy from these places of trauma. And so I've touched on that before in a past episode where I talked about finding like Masonic lodges and different places. And the Georgia Guidestones, we'll definitely talk about that because
yeah,
I have my experience going there and then it coming down 9 months later.
that's so amazing. That is so important. Yeah, we need to do that next time.
Yeah, so we can talk about my experience at the Georgia Guidestones, and then we can talk about what, laying down the energy and correcting the energy grids and things like that. So
Yes, and goals too. We are also, for those of us that don't, for those of you that don't know, yeah, we're going to go way out there because yes, we do have portals on this planet, and most of them have been taken over by negative. So we also need to take them back over for the light, and that's more energy work in the future that we'll talk about too. Just to go way out there. There's so much more, you guys. There's so much hidden from us. We're barely touching, scraping the iceberg here. There's so much hidden. But if we can't get past these just little pieces of information, we're in trouble. We've got to just start opening your mind a little bit and understand that there's more to life than meets the eye. There's more going on than we've been taught, and there's more hidden than you could ever imagine. All right. So we're going to get into that stuff next time, you guys. I love you guys.
All right. Love you guys. Love you, Joy.
Love you. And we'll see you guys next time.
All right. Thank you for being here, everybody. Oh, and you forgot to say our contact information.
Down below is in the description box is how to reach us if you need a healing or reading session. Please reach out. If you don't have money, it doesn't matter. We'll make up payment, whatever plan. I don't care. Just reach out. Reach out.
Barter of some sort. So we will.
Anything.
We are here to heal, and money, is not an obstacle. So if someone is needing,
if it's, don't ever, just because I have always felt like it has been an obstacle, unfortunately, but I want you to know that there's people out there that want to help you. And if you can help us with money, great. If you can't, that's okay too. That's fine. We'll figure it out.
Money is appreciated, but if you don't have it, then we're more than
figure it out. We'll do whatever. We'll do whatever we can to help you, no matter what.
Guides us to do. So, and I just want to close by saying that when I came out here, it was cloudy. I sent you a picture of it before I got out here, and now the sky is nice and clear. So, definitely doing some energy work as we're talking.
Yes, we are. We are. As we heal, we're healing the planet.
Yep.
That's how
what happens on the inside happens on the outside. With that, I will say adieu, adieu, adieu. And we'll talk to you later. Okay. Bye-bye.